Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwaraha. Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Okay, welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 11th of June 2026. I want to offer prostrations, Ananda Koti Namaskaram to all the great sages and to Bhagavan residing in the heart of every single being at all times. We are continuing on a daily basis to examine the various deficiencies or obstacles that are in one's path towards the realization of the Atma. Now please remember that the word Atma, it's a Sanskrit word. There is a history of how that word has come about. But what it refers to is who we are, our actual self. Very interesting. Atma is not something that we are not. The Atma is spirit, soul. It is consciousness, Sat Chit Ananda. It is our original nature, our original being. It is Chaitanya. Chaitanya meaning it is the life force. It is Tejomaya. Tejomaya means filled with divine light. That is our Swarup. But to reach that Swarup, to realize that Swarup, our Antakarana, I hope this is clear, Antakarana is the Man, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankar, which is inside of us, our mind, mental stuff. That has to resonate. That has to resonate with the Atma. This is the interesting point. That resonance with the Atma happens when our Antakarana, Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar are filled with Brahma Vidya. And that filling the Antakarana with Brahma Vidya properly, correctly, that is Guru. Yesterday we were talking about Guru and I thought about it some more, some prarthana we did also. There should not be any misunderstanding, at least for me, and then whatever your thoughts are, please share with everyone. What is Guru? What is Sadguru? Sadvichar? It is inside. Yes, the outside Gurus, teachers, so many are there. They are speaking, they are teaching, they are living in a particular way. Their charitra is there. Their teachings are there. Two things are there. There's just basically two things. एक महान संतों का चरित्र है और महान संतों की बानी है, teachings, speaking and writing, teaching, etc. Isn't it? So what else is there? These are the two things. But when we say महान संत, when we say गुणातीत सतपुरुष, बड़े बड़े संतों जिसको कहते हैं, it means that they are in a state beyond the Maya-laden matrix that the Antakarana is stuck in. If you have a question, you please feel free to unmute. I'll be happy to go into it further. Every single point should be very, very clear. आत्म ज्ञान हो जाएगा, ब्रह्म ज्ञान हो जाएगा, भगवान की प्रसन्नता हो जाएगी, guarantee. If these points are clear, they should be clear and then just resonance. Stay with it. Don't move away from that. It will open automatically. The doorway opens into the Atma. That is our goal. Now let's see how we can go into it carefully. The resonance, the Antakarana, which is Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar, it needs to be brimming with, filled with Brahma Vidya, Brahma Jnana, the Guru's teachings, teachers, the words in the Sat Shastra. It needs to be filled with that. Those are the 5 points. Stotras, mantras, shastra, mandir, guru parampara. Guru parampara means the words of the gurus. Personality, we respect. Like we talked about Sai Baba yesterday, Shirdi ke Sai Baba. I was thinking about that, in fact. When I was I think 4 or 5 years old, I have memories from that time of going to Shirdi. And what it's beautiful. सब तीर्थ, कितने संतों के तीर्थ है, भगवान के जो अवतार है उनके तीर्थ है. It's okay. It's beautiful, wonderful. Love all. But what was his teaching? What was, कोई भी बड़े संत है. भगवान स्वामीनारायण जिसको कहते हैं, श्रीजी महाराज. Not everybody considers him as भगवान. They consider him as saint. कोई बात नहीं. जो संत है तो संत तरीके देखना है उनको, कोई बात नहीं. But what is that they were living? How they lived? What was their activity in this world? They have their activity, we have our activity. We cannot copy somebody's activity. They had to perform actions based on the situation in the society, the people they were around, etc. On that basis, they spoke those languages, they interpreted scriptures that way, they instituted different kinds of programs and sadhanas and built temples or built organizations. Fine, that's the way it goes. Organizations are there. They're all a means based on what is happening in the society, and great individuals. They are leaders. Yad yad acharite shreshtam, Bhagavad Gita in the Gita. Shreshta Purush. Purush doesn't mean male or female like that, just person. Shreshta Vyakti. That they become a guiding light for millions of people eventually. Not immediately. Immediately could just be 10, 15, 20 people or 100 people. The numbers are not, but they start somewhere. But the point of all of it is that the antakarana, our antakarana, not somebody else, we don't have to worry about anybody else. Bhagwan sabka kalyan karenge. Don't worry about mera antakarana. Can it be filled with the knowledge of the scriptures? Yes, why not? The knowledge of the world is there. In the Jagrata Avastha, all kinds of information is there, and that is necessary. Language are there, the objects of the world are there, the education we have from the schools, that is there, other things we keep learning, that is there. But as the Upanishad says, Paravidya, Aparavidya, Aparavidya is where all the university subjects end. That is called Aparavidya. Go to top universities, all universities of the world, where all of the knowledge is combined together and it has borders off. वहाँ जो border होता है, physics, chemistry, biology, anthropology, zoology, this, that, languages, art, sciences, everything, right? All objects. All subjects. Where they come to an end, postdoctoral level, जो आगे नहीं जा सकते वो. That border is the border of Aparavidya, and that is where the Veda mantras begin. The 4 Vedas, their mantras begin where all these subjects border off, because they are within the realm of the Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Avastha, the 3 gunas of Maya. They're within the realm of this material world. But even the Vedas, they are wo divya hai, no doubt, but they change the experience of the material world. They also create the material world. That's the amazing thing. That is through mantra, Veda mantra. When you're chanting Veda mantra, it changes the anubhav for the Jivatma. But that is Veda mantra. But when we go into Upanishads, 108 Upanishads, and out of that 13 main Upanishads are there. Ishavasya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Manduk Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad. Like this, there's 13 major Upanishads. The Upanishads are opening that door out of the material world experience. into the Atma. Yes. And if you were to take 108 Upanishad, they have Mahavakyas, 6 Mahavakyas, or sometimes they're written as 4. Mahavakya is coming from realization. Vakya means the enlightened Anubhav of Brahman. Atma and Brahman, uska jo anubhav hai, that is written in Mahavakya. Mahavakya means utterance, statement. Maha means great statement. These are called Mahavakyas. So the Upanishadic literature, which is actually in form of conversation between Shishya and Guru, all of it is like that. Because enlightened saints, they went beyond the Antakarana, or their Antakarana was absolutely steady, absolutely pure, Shuddha, Ekagra, और वो ध्यान में बैठे थे, and Veda mantras revealed, and then they started doing the havans at that time, yagna, because there was nothing else. There were no mandirs, kuch bhi nahi tha. They were in the jungles, in the forests, and in the nature. They're one with nature. They're one with nature. They have extraordinary respect for nature. They build ashramas. They build places of meditation. Discovery of fire is there. And they're sitting in dhyan. And when you sit very silently, mind is no longer burdened with anything at all. Access point opens. This is how Sanatana Dharma started. That access point opens, and the Omkar, the Naad, Omkar ka jo Naad hai, they could begin to see that. They could see that the entire reality is a vibration, Spandan. And mantras began to reveal from beyond. See how interesting it is. Where do these mantras come from? Like if you go to the Mahalakshmi Mandir we have here, we have Pandits who are trained, right, for years in Rigveda and other Vedas, and they have maintained that. That's why unka respect hum kitna karte hai. Whatever deficiency anybody has, that God will take care of that. That's not our responsibility. But they have put their life behind that to save the Veda mantras, right? The Vedic tradition was attacked over and over and over again. But the Veda mantras were kept alive by oral transmission, eventually, generation to generation, because they were revealed in the mind of the rishis. Yes. And they are apaurushaya. If you have not written that word down, write this down. Apaurushaya. I'm just giving some of the background. Yeah, Atma Gnan aisa nahi hota. It doesn't happen just like that. We have to clean up the mind. Clean up our life. Balance it properly. Mind, brain, body balance. Everything has to be balanced. And then, as time went on in the Vedic period, the Antakarana, the inner world, all of the internal content of the mind settles down. It settles down completely. Shant. Param Shanti. That's why every mantra ends with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Why is that? Shanti means absolutely still. Still mind. Undisturbed mind. Undisturbed life. And in nature, there is harmony with nature. Prakriti. We can do this also. We can go into parks, we can go into different beautiful places. There's so many are there. And be one with nature. Sadhana of this type. Only the experience of the natural world. Walking, sitting, breathing, closing your eyes, opening your eyes, sitting in different postures. This is all experimental science that was done. This is where the yogic postures and all came from, because yogic postures are about changing the postures of the body, about controlling the breath, steadying the breath. And this is how the brain, body, mind balance that we talk a lot about in the Angel Wing program. This is how that doorway into the Atma opens. Because the mental mechanism of the Antakarana is absolutely still, steady. That steadiness, it is when the mind becomes absolutely still and you're taking deep breaths and sitting very silently, the door opens up. What is the door open? What does that mean? That means who you are is revealed. That we are not this physical body, not this mental body, not this mental fluctuation. We are something different. And that tattva that we are is realized, that I am this, I am not this. Amazing. It's absolutely amazing. This realization that I am Atman, it is not just it's not some verbal statement only. It is an opening into that domain, that I am Brahman. I am not this limited being. This body, these senses, this brain, this world is in me. You see the statement? That everything that is there is in me. That is Aham Brahmasmi. That is not the ego. That is not Ahankar. That is in me. Generally we think that the Atma is in me. From our body consciousness level, we feel that way. We think that that's so. Yes, and it's not wrong. That is also true. That the Atma is in the Hridaya Akash, in the heart. The Atma is not some physical object. We think that the Atma is in me. But when we realize the Atma, everything that exists, all existence, is a reflection of me. This is Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. This is a reflection of Brahman. So Brahman is the infinite consciousness that is realized. It opens. Vast infinite consciousness. And the Jivatma is no longer as a Jivatma. It realizes I am that tattva that is there, Brahma tattva, and me is not different. This is Atma Gnan, Brahma Gnan. And when this actually happens, and the body activity continues, but the causal body is gone, Karana Sharir. The rebirth cycle is gone. So this is called Brahma Sthiti, Brahmic Sthiti, Brahma Swarup. जो ब्रह्म का जो स्वरूप है, you become a swarup of that Brahman, living swarup. And that such a person is no longer living in the limitations, the human limitations. Human body is there. They have gone beyond. They have gone beyond. And they are no longer trapped in the matrix of Maya. In fact, the body that they have, such beings, they have that for the purpose of blessing others, helping others move ahead. They can leave the body anytime because they realize they're not the body. Who they are, what they are, is something totally different. Our original self is different. It is called Atman, Brahman, Akshara Brahma, all these things. These are words that came later on. But it's not just a matter of words. It's extraordinary stillness, steadiness. So these 5 points that we have been talking about, which have been coming in the 10,000-year tradition, they have come about from the rishis over time, over thousands of years. And then the Puranas came, and the Vedvyasji came, and then he wrote he systematized the Vedas. What we have now is the ready-made package. We don't have to do all that groundwork anymore. It's already been done. We don't have to do that. Then Bhagwan ke avatar bhi aate hai. That also has been done. Everything is done. Only thing that remains is to bring it inside and resonate. Fill the Antakarana with the Bhagavad Gita, with the Bhagavatam, with the Gnaneshwari, with Vachanamrutam, with bhajans, with kirtans, with Bhagwan ki jo swarup, Bhagwan ki jo murti. This murti and everything came later on. It wasn't there during Vedic time. There was only Havan, nothing else. Yagna. Kuch bhi nahi tha. There were people sitting in dhyan mein बैठे थे और हवन, और उसमें से भगवान का दर्शन होता था. अभी भी वो है. Even we do havans now also. Havans and yagnas, and that's. And then you have the nature, and you have Surya. Surya Narayan ki upasana, वो प्रत्यक्ष देव है. Everything is devta actually, all around. So this is how it's already been done. It's ready made. We have all mantras, we have stotras, we have bhajans, we have everything. We're living in golden time. If we want to be fully enlightened, there's no time like this. We have extraordinary Guru Paramparas, extraordinary scriptures. Sab kuch hai. The only thing that remains is to systematically bring inside the Antakarana these 5 mantra. Bhagwan ke jo mantra hai. Vedant ke bhi jo mantra hai. The Advait Vedanta. Soham, Ayam Atma Brahma, Tattvamasi, Pragnananam Brahma. These are the Mahavakyas. They are also mantras. And there's longer mantras in the Upanishad. Vedantic mantra bhi hai. That's fine. You can also do those. But a little bit easier way, just Namah Shivaya mantra karna. Wo Ved ka hi mantra. It's fine. Vedanta ka, it's absolutely good enough. Namah Shivaya, Shivoham. So mantras are there. Many mantras. So slowly, our resonance happens. Because the way we live in this world now is that there's so much binding inside the names and forms of the world, running in 1,000 places. So this is why settling down, taking steady breaths in and out, going to different temples, शांत, जीवन में शांति का महत्व होना चाहिए. शांति, शांत मन. And for that mind to be steady, we have to have everything in place. We don't want fear, we don't want obstacles, we don't want health issues, we don't want financial issues, we don't want family issues, we don't want any issues of any kind. That is why we have our angel wing program. We have that to deal with all that stuff. And then bring it into balance and then continue the sadhana. And be very steady, shraddha se karna. Because once sadhana takes off, the doorway from the inside opens. Let's take a break here. Let's go back into the finish our bhajans, and we'll restart at 8:35 the exposition. So just stay online. Give me just a moment here, and then we'll start the rag dvesha. We'll continue on the concept of raga and dvesha, the dualities we were looking at. We'll continue on that at 8:35. Just give me just a moment here.